One question that I'm sure a lot of people have when it comes to wrestling, mostly with WWE, formerly WWF, is will it ever be as popular as it once was? And that is a good question. I mean, with the rise of AEW and the return of the likes of Ring of Honor and MLW, after a long hiatus, along with some other companies as well, that is a good question. Will it be popular again? I know some people will point out that we have more variety with wrestling than we've ever had in several years. We have more than just three companies to choose from, and that is true. Because, if WWE doesn't suit your fancy, there's Impact. If Impact doesn't suit your fancy, there's Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor doesn't suit your fancy, there's AEW. If AEW doesn't suit your fancy, there's MLW, and so on. Heck, even internationally, you now have access to, promotions like New Japan, All Japan, Shimmer, you name it, Shine. I mean, the whole shebang, if you will, promotions, not just in Japan, but you look at Mexico, you got CMLL, you got AAA, you got the variety of promotions there. You look in Britain, in the UK, you got a variety of promotions there. Headline, believe it or not, by, of all things, NXT UK. But you have other ones like Progress, you have IWC, you name it. Heck, at one point before they went down, you had What Culture before they went down or got bought out. The point is, you have a variety of, options out there. Heck, even regionally, you have options. You have, Defy Wrestling in the Seattle, Washington area. You have West Coast professional wrestling here in Central Valley, in the Bay Area, and all of California. You have All Pro Wrestling in the heart of Haywood, where I grew up in. You have all these options. You have CZW, in the Philadelphia, New York, Baltimore region. You have New Era Wrestling in the Northeast. You have a bunch of options out there. But the question is always asked, will wrestling, with all these options, will it still be popular? Or will it be popular again? And like I said, that's a good question to ask because no one knows the answer. I mean, everybody in the wrestling business that stepped foot in that ring, from a Hulk Hogan to a Jeff Jarrett, to an Eric Bischoff, to a Stone Cold, to an Undertaker, because I'm sure he's probably mentioned it, to a Vince McMahon, to a Triple H, to a Shawn Michaels, to a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. A lot of them have come out in one shape, form, or another, and at one time or another, and have said that there will be another wrestling boom. Heck, you look at AEW, and Tony Khan and Cody Rhodes, and the Bucks, and Omega, and Moxley, and Lee, and all of them, in their own minds, and they probably very subtly have, hinted and noted and probably mentioned the same thing, that there will be another boom in the wrestling business. But the question is, when and where will that boom occur? When and where will it happen? Because, we don't know. I mean, it could happen tonight, for all we know, with the AEW Dynamite Special Edition known as Winter is Coming. It could happen tonight. It could happen next month at TLC with Retribution, the new faction that WWE has put together, finally making an iconic statement during a main event match. It could be that. We don't know. It could be something that Impact Wrestling does with one of their talents that they have basically focused on as being insane or out there or undead, and that could do it. We don't know. We don't know when and where that boom will occur. But everybody has said it's going to happen. And I will say this, when and where that boom occurs, no matter how it's accomplished, no matter what promotion sets that boom to go ablaze and explode and cause ramifications and changes all across wrestling, I can tell you that when that boom happens, in my opinion, that's when wrestling will get popular again. That's when people will start tuning in, not just to WWE, WWF, but to Impact, to MLW, AEW, CZW, all the promotions that I've mentioned. They will tune in to see who could top who in shocking us. Who could top who when it comes to doing another boom to follow that boom to keep the momentum going. Because nobody knows. Nobody knows when that boom will happen. Nobody knows how it's going to happen. But I guarantee you that when that boom occurs, that, in my opinion, is when wrestling will be popular once again. Not just for a fan like me, but for fans like Alyx of Just Alyx's World, formerly Deluxe Man. For fans like Solomonster, Jason Solomon of Solomonster Sounds Off. For OTR Essentials, the Schleg Daddy. For Don Tony, for Kevin Castle, for Good Mike with Greg Morgan, for JD from NY206. The moment one of these promotions, major, minor, up and coming, creates that one significant boom that gets the attention of all wrestling, of the entire wrestling world, that's when it's going to get talked about again. That's when wrestling will become popular again because of that moment. Heck, House of Glory, for all we know, which JD and Solomonster work for, commentate for, could do that boom, could do that moment. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. But to me, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, the moment, the boom that everybody says is going to happen, when and where it happens, whatever promotion causes it to happen, that's when wrestling will be popular again. That's when it's going to get talked about so much that you'll get sick of it. And that you'll be wondering, okay, we get it. You guys did it. You did the boom. You got wrestling popular again. Now build off it. But the question is when and where. And for all we know, it could happen tonight at Winter is Coming. It could happen at TLC. It could happen in a few months at Revolution. It could happen at Hard to Kill for Impact Wrestling. It could happen at any time. We just don't know where or when. But to get back to that question everybody asks, will it be popular again? Yeah, it will be. But it'll only be popular again when that specific moment, that boom that every wrestling Hall of Famer and legend and current star has said is going to happen, happens. That's when it's going to occur. That's when it's going to be popular again. You know it, I know it, and everybody that talks about wrestling here on YouTube knows it. And that, to quote Adam Cole, is undisputed. But let me know what you guys think. What are your thoughts on that? Do you agree with what I had to say? Check out other people's discussion videos on it, and I will talk to y'all later.